Super Bowl, Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski recreated their famous Bad Boy for Life video from 2 years ago when they defeated the Chiefs in the AFC title game. The standout lyrics from the P. Diddy song, of course, are, "We ain't going nowhere." Appropriate. Shannon, give the video a letter grade, please.
Yeah, because this is what I know would have happened. Had LeBron James and AD done something like this, Skip Bayless would have said, "LeBron, why do you got to celebrate?" Michael Jordan would have never done that. So isn't it a little bit too early? Because you remember when Aaron Rodgers was sitting back there all in his chair and he seemed so relaxed, but we got the Super Bowl, we got the playoffs here. You creamed him. So I just want to hear you cream Tom Brady for doing this.
I give it an F. It was pathetic, but they do it just to get the GOAT does it to get your GOAT. That's what they do. Because you can't stand it. It's so lame, it's so cliched, it's so silly, and they're just having fun with it. I give them at least an E for effort. They're trying to do something.
Because I already know, had LeBron James and AD done something like this, the tweet would have come out. Ain't no way you gonna wait till
it's terrible, but it's beautifully terrible.
That's okay.
Right?
My homeboy's gonna have something to say about this here.
I don't even think it's terrible. I think I retweeted it. I love it. I love it. And Shannon, I do hope that LeBron and AD have a chance to recreate the video.
No, we don't do that.
Sake.
We don't celebrate like that.
For your sake, one day. You don't need it? Guys, that is it for Undisputed. Great stuff today. We'll be back same time tomorrow morning. The Herd is on right now. Have a good day, everyone. Tom Brady has steered the Buccaneers to the Super Bowl in just his first season with the team. While Brady has played much better than some anticipated at age 43, some have attributed it to his supporting cast, which Pro Football Focus ranked his receivers as the top unit in the league. Meanwhile, the defense has come up big as well, creating turnovers and shutting down opponents all postseason. So, Shannon, who is the most responsible for the Bucs making the Super Bowl? Brady, the Bucs weapons, or the Bucs defense?
I don't think you can say that one is because I think they go hand in hand. Tom Brady has been able to look like the old Tom Brady that when he was in his prime in New England because he's had great weapons. The defense has done an unbelievable job, Skip. They've created the Bucs have scored 35 points off takeaways. They took the ball away from the Saints 4 times. They took the ball away from the Packers twice. So that's 6. So the most you can get out of that, Skip, is 42 points. They got 35. So they got 5 touchdowns off those 6 turnovers. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And so when you look at it, Skip, in the grand scheme of things, in Green Bay, 5 sacks, 22 pressures on Rodgers, more than he's ever been pressured in a playoff game. And Brady avoided the mistakes in New Orleans game, and even though he did not avoid the mistakes in the Packers game, they didn't come back to bite him because his defense, as you say, Tom Brady brought the offense to a boil. Todd Bowles has brought the defense to a boil. So, Skip, for me, I'm going to give everybody their fair share, Skip. Everybody gets 33 1/3 because Tom Brady needed to be Tom Brady. The weapons around him needed to be substantially better than what he had. And that defense, when teams were getting down there in the red zone, they found the ways to bow their back. It's like, we'll give you a field goal, but we're not letting you in the end zone. And they might say, you know what? As a matter of fact, we're going to take the ball away from you. We're not going to give you anything. So I think there's enough to go around, Skip. I don't think you could definitively say, well, this is the sole reason or that's the sole reason. I can't do it.
Okay, but the sole reason to start with is that Tom Brady chose Tampa Bay. He is the greatest leader to me in sports history, and he had to install the Patriot way in Tampa Bay. And it took a year to do it. But along the trail, the defense, in fact, it was so bad, it was so torchable for much of the season, I didn't think it was good enough to get them to the Super Bowl I predicted they would get to. Because just briefly, think about what just happened, what you just saw during the regular season. Justin Herbert goes into Tampa early, 4th game of the year. He torches them in the first half, and it's 24-7 Chargers. And Brady comes out in the second half and goes 15-17 for 263 and brings them all the way back to win the game.
What happened right before the end of the half? What did Tampa's defense do?
Made a mistake. I mean, he made one big mistake. He's a rookie quarterback, obviously. But again, he threw for 263 in the second half and 3 touchdowns just in the second half and brought them all the way back. Then Tom played the worst game of his career on that Sunday night against New Orleans, but the defense was right there in lockstep with him because Drew Brees would have scored the first 6 times he had the ball if Kamara hadn't fumbled at the 2-yard line.
That was Jared Cook.
No, it was Jared Cook at the 2-yard line. But the point was, they couldn't stop him. It was a joke. They couldn't stop Jared Goff. He threw for 376, and they lost that night game. Then Mahomes goes in there and throws for 359 in the first half. And then at Atlanta, late in the year, they're down 17-0 at half because Matt Ryan threw for 235. What's Brady doing in the second half? He comes out and throws for 320 and 3 touchdowns in the second half at Atlanta to save that game. And then what happened in the first playoff game? Taylor Heineke threw a party on them. He throws for 306 and ran for another 46. And what does Brady do? He throws for 381 and 2 more touchdowns and no interceptions.
If you look at the game, you said Matt Ryan, what did the defense do? They buckled down in the second half and then shut the light.
Okay, but Brady threw for 320. Yes. So again, he's still playing at the highest level.
Let me ask you a question. What could Brady have thrown for if the defense doesn't buckle down and keep Atlanta out of the end zone? Remember, they kept them out of the end zone twice. So if Brady throws for 320 and they let Atlanta into the end zone, would it have mattered?
Okay, but how many quarterbacks playing right now could have pulled off in the second half what he pulled off at Atlanta with 320 and 2 touchdowns?
Like you said about Dak, was he not getting the ball in the first half?
Okay, yeah, he was. Okay. I'll give you that. But was the defense stopping Matt Ryan? That was the worst they played all year, 235. So Bowles brought them to a boil, but it took a while.
Right.
It really took until New Orleans.
Did it take a while for Tom Brady to get this offense going?
I don't know. I just gave you some examples.
Okay, let me ask you this. You say Tom Brady's the GOAT, and he's playing like himself. Could he have done this in New England? Because if Tom Brady's playing like himself, the talent, Gronk, them, and AB, and Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin shouldn't matter. If you say he's the GOAT, and that didn't matter, he had everything to do with it, he should have been able to do this in New England. Do you believe he could have done this in New England?
The coach is trying to push him out the back.
No, I'm not talking about the coach. Skip, I don't care if the coach was pulling him in a chinchilla coat. Could he have done what he's doing?
The coach cost him a Super Bowl by not playing Malcolm Butler. How could you do that? And Tom threw for a record 505.
We've turned Malcolm Butler into Deion Sanders or Darrelle Revis. I don't know how that happened.
Well, he played the most snaps on defense.
He made the greatest defensive play in Super Bowl history. I will give you that. But can we stop with this notion that he's Darrelle Revis?
I think they would have won the game if he had played him.
Well, it has been nice to have Gronk back in the mix for Tom. And Brady and Gronkowski are recreating their Super Bowl run from 2 seasons ago in a very unique way. You don't want to miss it.
No mercy, no mercy, no mercy, and I won't back.
FS1. So let's head over and check in with Colin today. Hey, Colin, what's on the show?
Tom Brady's dad. Little shot at Bill Belichick. We'll discuss that. And Aaron Rodgers just wants to be heard. That, too, coming up.
All right, Colin, good stuff. Sunday night, after beating the Packers,